My golden child brother stole my future, so I exposed his darkest secret at his wedding rehearsal. You know that feeling when you're holding a grenade and everyone is begging you not to pull the pin, but they're also the ones who handed it to you? Yeah, that was my life about 6 months ago. I blew up my family, my career, and a very expensive wedding in the span of 48 hours. And honestly, I slept like a baby the next night. Let me back up a little. I'm 32. Let's call me Mike. My younger brother, let's call him Cody, is 29. Cody is the golden boy. You know the type. Played quarterback in high school, charming smile, could sell ice to a polar bear, but couldn't actually build an igloo to save his life. Our dad started a custom cabinetry business back in the day. It's a big deal in our town. I've been working there since I was 14. I swept floors, I installed hinges, I learned the books, I managed the crews, I built that place up from a mom and pop shop into a regional supplier. I did the work. Cody went to college on dad's dime, partied for 5 years, got a degree in, I think, communications, and then came back home to be appointed vice president of sales. His job consisted of taking clients to golf lunches and promising them deadlines we physically couldn't meet. Guess who had to stay late and work weekends to make those miracles happen? Me. Guess who got the bonus checks for record sales? Cody. But I kept my mouth shut. It's family, right? You don't rock the boat. The breaking point started about a year ago when Cody got engaged to Sarah. Sarah is genuinely incredible. Smart, kind, way too good for him. She's a pediatric nurse, just a heart of gold. She thought Cody was this hardworking executive because that's the image my parents sold her. They treated Cody like he was the second coming of Steve Jobs, and I was just Mike, the guy in the shop. The wedding was supposed to be the event of the season. My parents were blowing their retirement savings on it. A destination wedding in Napa Valley. The works. 3 weeks before the big day, I'm in the office late, as usual. I'm trying to reconcile the accounts because we're bleeding cash and I can't figure out why. I start digging into the company credit cards, and there it is. Thousands of dollars, not on lumber, not on tools, on jewelry, hotel rooms in the city, dinners at places way too fancy for client meetings, and a lease on a luxury apartment downtown. Now, I know Cody lives at home to save for a house. So who is living in this apartment? I drove down there. It's late, maybe 10 p.m. I see Cody's car, and I see him walking out with his executive assistant, a girl named Ashley who is barely 22. They aren't discussing spreadsheets, folks. They are very affectionate. My stomach dropped, not just because he's cheating on Sarah, but because he's doing it with company money. My money. Dad's money. I took photos. I'm not proud of it, but I needed proof. The next morning, I walked into my dad's office. I laid it all out. The credit card statements, the lease agreement, the photos. I thought, finally, Dad will see that Cody is a liability. Finally, he'll have to face consequences. Dad looked at the papers. He got quiet. He took a deep breath and he looked at me with pure disappointment. He said, Mike, why are you trying to ruin your brother's happiness? I felt like I'd been slapped. I said, Dad, he's embezzling from the company, and he's cheating on his fiancée 3 weeks before the wedding. Dad waved his hand like he was shooing a fly. He said, boys will be boys. He's just getting it out of his system before the marriage. And the money? We'll call it a pre-wedding bonus. You need to bury this, Mike. If Sarah finds out, she calls off the wedding, and your mother will be devastated. Do not say a word. Then he looked me dead in the eye and said, if you tell her you're out of the company, I'll cut you off without a dime. You'll be nothing. That was the moment. That was the click in my brain. I had spent 18 years building his legacy, covering for his golden child, eating his scraps, and he was ready to throw me in the trash to protect a lie. I nodded. I said, okay, Dad, I won't tell her. I walked out. I didn't tell her. Not then. I waited. 2 weeks. I went to the fittings. I smiled at the rehearsal. I played the role of the supportive best man. It was agonizing. Sarah was so happy, glowing, talking about their future kids. It made me sick physically, but I knew I had to time this right. We get to the rehearsal dinner. It's at this stunning vineyard. Everyone is there, family, friends, business partners. My dad stands up to give a toast. He's going on and on about integrity and love and how proud he is of the man Cody has become. He looks at me and makes a little joke. He says, and thank God Mike here is such a good worker bee, keeping the shop running so Cody could focus on landing the big fish. Everyone laughs. I laugh. Then it's time for the best man speech. I stood up. I tapped the microphone. Clink, clink, clink coughs, I said. Wow, what a beautiful night. You know, Dad talks a lot about integrity. It's the foundation of our company. It's the foundation of this family. I looked at Cody. He's smiling, holding Sarah's hand, oblivious. I continued. Cody, I love you, man. And because I love you and I love Sarah, I think it's important we start this marriage with a clean slate, no secrets, just pure honesty. I pulled a thick envelope out of my jacket pocket. The room got a little quiet. Cody's smile faltered. Dad's eyes went wide. I said, so I have a little gift for the happy couple. Actually, it's mostly for Sarah. I walked over to the head table. I placed the envelope gently in front of Sarah. Open it, I said softly. Dad stood up. Mike, sit down. You're drunk. I haven't had a drop, Dad, I said, my voice projecting to the back of the room. Go ahead, Sarah. Sarah, looking confused, opened the envelope. She pulled out the bank statements, the lease agreement, and the photos. The silence was absolute. You could hear a pin drop on the grass. Sarah flipped through the photos. Her face went pale, then red. She looked at the lease. She looked at the timestamp on the credit card charges. She looked up at Cody. Who is Ashley? Cody turned white. Sarah, baby, it's not what it looks like. Mike is just jealous. He's trying to— There are timestamps, Cody, Sarah screamed. Her voice cracked and it broke my heart, but it had to happen. You spent $4,000 at the Ritz last weekend when you said you were at a conference? Dad tried to rush over. Now, Sarah, sweetheart, let's not make a scene. We can talk about this privately. Sarah stood up and threw the stack of papers in Cody's face. It was cinematic. I am not marrying you, she said, quietly, deadly. Then she turned to my dad. And you knew. You're trying to hush me? I spoke up one last time. He knew. He told me to bury it. He said me telling the truth would ruin his reputation. I turned to the guests. I'm resigning from the family business, effective immediately. If anyone needs quality cabinetry, I'll be starting my own shop next month. My number is the same. I dropped the microphone. I literally dropped it. It made a horrible feedback screech, but it was worth it. I walked out. My dad was purple, screaming at my back that I was disowned, that I was dead to him. Cody was crying, actually sobbing, begging Sarah to listen. Sarah's dad was holding Cody back by his collar, looking like he was about to throw a punch. I got in my car, drove back to the hotel, packed my bag, and checked out. The aftermath, that was 6 months ago. So here is the fallout. Sarah called off the wedding that night. Her parents are wealthy, and they are suing my parents for the cost of the wedding, citing emotional distress and fraud. It's a mess. Sarah reached out to me about a month later. She thanked me. She said it was the hardest thing she's ever gone through, but she's glad she didn't waste her life on a liar. We aren't dating or anything that would be weird, but we're cool. As for the business, well, remember how I said I was the one who managed the crews and the clients? When I left, I didn't just leave. I took my knowledge with me. 3 of our best foremen quit the next week and called me asking if I had work for them. I took out a small business loan, cashed in my 401k, and started ironwood cabinetry. It was scary for the first 2 months. I was eating ramen and sleeping on a mattress on the floor of my new workshop. But then the phone started ringing. It turns out clients don't care about the vice president of sales with the nice smile. They care about the guy who actually ensures their kitchen gets installed on time. When they called the old number and got runarounds from Cody, who has no idea how to schedule a job, they looked for me. My parents' business is tanking. Without me running the operations, deadlines are being missed. Quality has dropped. They're bleeding money. I heard through the grapevine that Dad had to mortgage the house to keep payroll. Cody? Ashley dumped him when the company car got canceled. He's apparently depressed and living in my old room at my parents' house. My mom has sent me about 50 text messages. At first, they were hateful, calling me a traitor, a snake, a jealous failure. Then they became bargaining. Just come back. We can work this out. Dad is willing to give you a raise. A raise? A raise? I didn't reply. Yesterday, I got a voicemail from Dad. He sounded old, tired. He said, Mike, the bank is threatening to foreclose on the shop. I don't know what to do. You're the only one who understands the books. Please, it's your legacy too. I listened to it twice. Then I deleted it. It's not my legacy. My legacy is the company I'm building right now. The one where integrity actually means something, the one where the people who do the work get the credit. I might be the jerk for ruining a wedding and destroying a 30-year-old family business, but looking at my new shop and knowing I don't have to lie for anyone ever again, I think I can live with being the jerk. I